Gaza, a densely populated strip of land on the Mediterranean coast, is once again embroiled in conflict. The humanitarian situation has reached a nadir, exceeding even previous years' devastation. The United Nations describes it as the worst crisis in 18 months, with dwindling resources and escalating violence. A crippling blockade by Israel restricts essential goods, leaving the population on the edge of catastrophe. Hospitals are overwhelmed, and the silence of empty stomachs underscores the gravity of the situation. The Israeli blockade, in place for over a decade, has always cast a long shadow over Gaza. However, the recent tightening of restrictions beginning in March 2025 has had a particularly devastating impact. The flow of basic necessities, already restricted, has slowed to a trickle, pushing Gaza's fragile infrastructure to the breaking point. The most immediate impact is felt in the dwindling food supplies. Charity kitchens, once a lifeline for many Gazans, are shutting their doors, unable to secure enough food to meet the soaring demand. Supermarkets, their shelves sparsely stocked, are besieged by desperate residents, queuing for hours in the hope of obtaining basic provisions. The inevitable consequence of this scarcity is malnutrition, particularly among children, the most vulnerable segment of the population. The healthcare system, already strained by years of conflict and underfunding, is on the verge of collapse. Hospitals are running dangerously low on essential medicines, including insulin, a life-saving drug for diabetics. Chronic illnesses, such as cancer and multiple sclerosis, are becoming death sentences, as patients are deprived of the medications they need to survive. As if the humanitarian crisis wasn't dire enough, the recent escalation of violence has exacerbated the suffering. Since May 11, 2025, Israeli airstrikes and artillery fire have claimed the lives of at least 44 Palestinians, leaving a trail of destruction and despair in their wake. Hospitals, overwhelmed with casualties, are struggling to cope with the influx of wounded, their corridors echoing with the cries of pain and the anguished sobs of bereaved families. Among the recent casualties are 4 individuals killed in an airstrike on Deir el-Balah, where families had sought refuge from the violence. In the Sabra neighborhood, a horrific tragedy unfolded as 5 members of the Tlaib family, including 3 innocent children, lost their lives in an Israeli attack. These are not mere statistics, they are human beings, each with a name, a face, and loved ones left behind to mourn their untimely demise. In Tuffa, 6 more lives were extinguished by the relentless bombardment, while Sheikh Radwan and Rafah also witnessed the deadly consequences of the escalating conflict. Each life lost represents a shattered family, a community robbed of its future, and a testament to the human cost of this intractable conflict. Section 4. Israel's controversial plan: reoccupation and displacement. The Israeli government, led by Prime Minister Netanyahu, has adopted an unyielding stance, ruling out a ceasefire and vowing to intensify military operations. Their stated objective is the dismantling of Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza. However, the means by which they intend to achieve this goal have sparked widespread condemnation and raised serious concerns about the future of Gaza. Israel's plan entails a full-scale reoccupation of Gaza, a prospect that evokes painful memories of past occupations and their devastating legacy. The plan involves the displacement of Gaza's entire population, a staggering 2.1 million people, to a designated humanitarian area. This area, located within Gaza, would encompass less than a quarter of its current territory, effectively confining the Palestinian population to a densely packed enclave. This proposed solution has been met with near-universal rejection. As the world watches with bated breath, calls for peace are growing louder. Yet, fears of further escalation loom large, casting a shadow over the prospects for a peaceful resolution. The international community remains divided, with various nations urging restraint and dialogue, while others back Israel's right to defend itself. The people of Gaza, caught in the crossfire, continue to endure unimaginable suffering. The path forward is uncertain, and the stakes could not be higher.